G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's video on YouTube. Today is of course another backyard gardening tour video. Of course, yes, this is a very totally different startup to what I normally start up with. I normally tend to have an opening sequence of where I usually walk past by the shed and that summer house which is abandoned. But first off, let me talk about one of the big mistakes of my pumpkin plant. I've actually trimmed off quite a few leaves. I actually did trim off that section there, but I also trimmed off that leaf there. But I think what was quite unfortunate, that by accidentally trimming one of those bigger sized leaves that were actually grown from here, it would have aided some shading protections and whatnot. But yeah, I think I would have actually let this pumpkin a little bit down than the other one. Apparently there's another one that's growing. Apparently, let me just show it to you. Strange enough, there it is there. Can you see the female flower right over in the background, hey? It's quite amazing when I'm seeing so many female pumpkin flowers. I've now got like 4 pumpkin fruits that are starting to develop. Yes, I know this one's turned a little bit darker, but that is a result of that thing losing a bit more, let's just say, chlorophyll, losing a lot more chlorophyll than before. That is actually very interesting. You can start to see how the pumpkin stems and the roots themselves, you can see they've actually changed into a darker green color. Yes, that is very much the hallmarks of that pumpkin. It might look like that, hey, this thing is going to be totally and utterly down by late September and early October. But hey, you know what? I'll just see about that, I suppose, hey? Okay, what else am I going to see here? So we've got some potato plants. They look like they've been straightforward down, but they're doing okay. I'll just let these guys keep on growing until, yes, September and October. And hey, maybe there'll be a great time to start harvesting my crops before the end of the season. Somehow that'll be a very good thing. Anyways, let me just straightforward show you what else is there. We've got lots and lots of cabbage seedlings and lettuces. And speaking of cabbages, I've actually managed to transplant quite a few cabbage seedlings. Although I wasn't able to verify on that source, whether I can pretty much use fertilizer is another option. Maybe that may not be a very good solution. Yes, I've got 3 of these cabbage seedlings as well. There's some pepper seedlings here which might potentially fail because we are now leading up towards September and or October, of course. September always comes first, but we have to see how much heat we'll get so far. We've got more lettuces, and we've got lots and lots of calendulas and nasturtiums. And I tell you what, the great big army of calendulas and nasturtiums that I have in my backyard garden has been immense. So far, so good. And we've got another pumpkin fruit, and apparently there are some flies landing on it. Now, there is one trick here to keep my pumpkin growing, and it's to turn and flip the pumpkin just a few times. This one here is actually looking good. Of course, yes, I'll just wait for the whole thing to like dry up, of course. But at least, hey, this is a fantastic gourd. I'll tell you what though, guys, I have to say this one here is doing a lot much more better than the one that I've just planted before. But hey, I'll just have to see how much color changing this thing has got. It's going to be fairly interesting, isn't it? Tell you what, I've started to prune back this sunflower just a bit, of course, hey. It's not the greatest, but I've actually decided to prune this one down. But I might straightforward think about making, well, let's just say a bouquet, maybe for my mum's birthday, but I won't know about that. Some cornflowers, of course, they've been quite good, obviously, although the soil is getting a little bit dry, hey? Might have to probably add some more water in it, and there you go. There's actually quite a lot more rain activity that we just had so far. Of course, yes, I left that for a very hot and dry summer, but now as we're getting up towards autumn, you can start to see some of the false autumn signs of leaves, because we had a very hot and dry summer. And yes, the rain has contaminated quite a lot of water, thanks to the rain and also thanks to the autumn leaves that we had so far. Some lettuce as well too. That one there is quite a very good looking lettuce seedling. I might probably transplant that later on as well. In fact, there's actually quite a lot of lettuces and nasturtiums. In fact, there's a ringing of a nasturtium that's been transplanted. Very strange, isn't it? And then moving along, we've got more pumpkin seedlings. Everywhere I see is pumpkin seedlings as I go. I tell you what, guys, looking at the rest of my backyard garden is just chronically amazing. And apparently, hey, getting 3 and 4 female pumpkin flowers is just quite incredible. Just shows you of how much effort have I done to really self-pollinate these guys. I've been doing like 3 to 4 times just to keep these guys going, and once they've been properly pollinated, they'll be able to start producing another fruit. Unless, of course, if that has been poorly pollinated. So I'll just have to see about that. I wonder how big these things can grow. I'm very sure about that. I might have to probably start thinking about making space for more pumpkins, I suppose, eh? Maybe anchoring the pumpkin down. Maybe, you know, once this thing grows really, really big, it's going to straightforward let that pumpkin down and seat into a different area. I'm sure about that. Oh, man, can you believe it? There's actually another female pumpkin fruit. I tell you what, there's actually quite a big stunted growth of female pumpkin flowers. Everywhere I look, there's actually way too many of them. I could just prune them back, but I decided not to because I want to straightforward let these things grow in a certain period of time. Yes, we've got more pumpkin flowers, more calendula flowers. I tell you what, there's a lot of flowers everywhere. I tell you what, lots of lettuce seedlings, and I tell you what, my backyard garden is looking very, very big than before. And so are these tomato seedlings as well. I tell you what, they've actually started to go looking a lot more greater than before. They're starting to look good. I can't see any fruit yet. I know the cherry tomato has got a bit more fruit, but hey, how would I even know if they're starting to get a little bit nicer? I know there's rain by next week somehow, which might probably put the tomatoes at risk. So I will have to straightforward think about how much rain we're going to be getting. If there's a massive downpour, I might have to shelter all of my tomato fruits back into my house, because hey, it may not be very good, and thus having to leave my fruits rotten in the rainstorm will be a very big risk to my plant work. Anyways, I need to leave this rough and ready video. I'm sorry if I have to speak very quickly here, because there's actually some very distant music in the background. So if you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like that sunflower, of course. Subscribe for more flower videos in the future, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.